What's good, YouTube? House of Champs back here with Brenden Beckmann, my bad. You've seen him before. He won a giant hand on our channel. It was a while ago. And finally back here again with the second place ARG Arizona deck.
There you go.
So, well, before the deck, let's get into shoutouts and, you know, how your day went. How was your tournament?
Shoutouts to all C's, House of Champions, of course, all my Colorado people, Denver Broncos, Matt Ames for telling me to play Sidewalker.
Nah, Sidewalker's the truth, dude.
It was a good day. Nothing too special. I played Gerardo Lopez. I don't remember. I'm probably messing his name up in top 16. I played Jesus in top 8 and Gomez in top 4. Me and Gomez's match was probably like the hardest match I played all week.
Yeah, that was so grindy.
Like, that match really made me work for it, and then I misplayed in the finals with my Valor, and I didn't really open that good on top of it, but...
Yeah, if you haven't seen that match, go watch it on ARG's website or their YouTube, because, man, that was one grindy hell of a match.
But yeah, here's the deck I played. I played 43 cards, and yeah, the 2 and the 1, the 3, the 3, the 3, the core. I played 2 Max C, 3 Valor, and 1 Droll. Originally, I was using 3 C, 3 Valor, but I wanted to have another card for Monarchs, so I put in the Droll. But honestly, overall, I would have rather just stayed with the Max C, since I was fortunate enough not to play any Monarchs this weekend. Droll's still decent in the mirror, but I remember a specific game going first where I opened it over Max C, and just that neg one put me too far behind. It was the only match I lost in Swiss, actually. The Luster lineup, 3, 2, 1. I still think you need the 3. It's just such a powerhouse card. You always want to have it to get your Nisters going. 2, 1, 3, 1, 1. I still think Trick Clown's really good to make infinity plays, and he does help you wombo out in any of your good hands. And he also, like, Trick Clown with Jigga can help out really any back row card without losing too many resources. I still do play Jigga, obviously. I was testing it in Instant Fusion for a while, but most of my game 1 hands, I realized if I open like any medium/good hand, Jigga was almost always better than Instant Fusion, so that's why I stuck with it. But as you saw in the finals, I opened a game 1 with a complete dead hand, and it was just subpar. And I still think the Perform Mage engine's good just because Wavering is such a power card, and this is just too good against it, and this is still just too explosive. The 3 Dracos, face off, too good. I only played 2 Wavering Eyes. I think I was the only person in top 16 to play 2 Wavering Eyes. My logic behind it is I really, again, in any average/below hand, if you ever open 2, it's really not that good. Like, opening 2 put me back, like, could really just put me back if you didn't have a good hand going first, and I always wanted to have a good hand going first. And I also didn't want to risk it getting damaged or being put in those more awkward positions, so I only played 2. I'd actually been testing the last like week or so without even playing it, just getting used to not having it. So having it again really did help. Like, not getting blown out by Wavering or having a Wavering for Wavering really did help. But I still would probably only play 2 just because of the fact that 3 could be dead. You never want to open 2. I did play 2 Twin Twisters. Again, instead of the 3rd Wavering, I figured a Twin Twister would help again all my Monarch matchups and any trap builds I was seeing, any Cosmos. I thought it would be, again, I literally played all mirror matches but 1 watered all weekend, so it wasn't as good, but it still does a lot of damage. If they try and be greedy with a Gi Turtle Monkey board play, you can really punish them there. And it can't get damage juggler. That's another thing. Like, when you need to clear back, like, you just need to clear scales or back rows, it helps. The 2 traps, the treacherous and the time space. I consider trap tricks, but they're still just the best 2. And I put a strike back in my deck. I'd been on the fence for this as a 3rd Wavering, 1 Instant Fusion, the 3rd Max C, a Ghost Ogre, but I figured Strike was another card that anytime I could open it going first, like, it was just going to be a blowout card, and I wanted another blowout card.
Please find your name and find your seat so we can begin the round. Once again, Hard Fight Vanguard players, pairings for round 6 are posted. Please find your name and find your seat so we can begin
You gotta
the
love
round.
announcements. Also, that it still was something I could use to have to negate Juggler, Maxi, or Veiler. Just a little more utility. I still liked it. These were the two cards I probably sided out the most this weekend. I don't know what I would change them for off the top of my deck, but I still probably would take out Giga. I don't know about Strike. Strike is still such an just such a blowout card if you hit them without them seeing it.
So you prefer it to Warning?
Yeah, just because literally just so I could stop these cards. I'd went back and forth between it and Warning, because Warning could stop the normal summon so they don't get the resource off Skullcrobat. Warning could also stop Face Off, but just being able to stop these I thought was worth it, and being able to the extra 500 actually was a little, it wasn't a major factor in it, but it was still a slight factor that helped me lean towards Strike. Warning still is if I don't have Strike, Warning still is almost just as good. But that's everything for the main. Instant Fusion is probably one of the only cards I still wish I played one of, but there's just no room in my extra. I use the 2 Ignisters, staple, have to use them just in case you ever run into Cosmo. You have to have 2, or so you can be aggressive turn 1 if you open up this these 3 on turn 1 with a Rafflesia set play. It's just these 4 are just too key for the extra deck. Dynaster's great to answer. How I was playing around Wavering without using it is I would just Dynaster lock them with Veiler, and then almost they'd never be able to out it. Castell, Dweller, Direwolf. These are still too good against Answer. I was thinking about taking out Dweller before, but Monarchs is still really it's still relevant for Monarchs, and I actually did play the 1 water guy and it helped a lot. Trapeze for OTKs. Emerald I know a lot of people are not playing anymore, they're on the fence about, but I probably could have not played it this weekend because I didn't run into Cosmos, but my logic for using it was that I could be more aggressive with my Ignisters against Cosmos and be able to spin their plays back, where I knew once they got rid of them, if I didn't have an Emerald, I would lose the game. And I realized it in the mirror match too. A lot of the times, once I got through their first 2 Ignisters, since most people in top 16 weren't even playing Emerald, I would just win the game because they had nothing big enough to make anymore. It's just the Ignister grind. King for the Liz draws. The Liz draws, the whatchamacallit, the Gigabyte, and it works for my deck devies. I use Giant Hand. Giant Hand's great this format. Stopping Skullcrobats. I stopped Diva, or I tried to stop Diva. I use them a lot. I probably dropped this weekend more than I dropped this card. More than I played this card. Probably even more than I played Trapeze. Probably my 3rd most used XYZ after Rafflesia, and probably Castell or Direwolf. Those are probably the 3 main ones I made this weekend. I didn't go into the Affinity combo that much. Of course, it's way too good to have, but I used it, but it wasn't. These happen more often than not. But I did want to fit in Instant Fusion Norden, but there was nothing that I'd play tested that I was comfortable dropping, except for particularly this or the Dweller. But again, I explained why I still played them and thought they were too needed. And then my side deck, 1 Droll to go with the 2nd one for Monarchs. People have been using in the mirror, but it is good going 2nd. And against Gomez, I knew he was using the Nat Beast engine, so it would help slow that out. But it's still good. Side blockers for Monarchs and Nat Beasts and Vanities. Monarchs, Nat Beasts, Vanity Fiends. I tested against Monarchs, and I was getting schooled all week that I played, so I decided as much hate as I could. Like I said, I didn't even play any, so they sat in my side deck all day. Didn't do much, but I would still probably play them just because it's such a real, everybody that says the deck's not that good or not real, it is. It definitely is. It can sack you, it can draw its nut hands, and it can just blow you out. And then my MVP card for the weekend was Deck Devies and Silver Claw. I think any time I went first and I opened Deck Devi, I did resolve it. There was not one time I opened this card and it wasn't dead, and that's because I played Silver Claw. This card is the best. Literally ripped my opponent's hand. I won in my top 4 match because I waited. I ripped it when I had the king out. The king, I did think I wasn't sure if I had another Liz draw on my deck if I sided it out, so that's why I did that play, and it did turn out because I drew it later in the game to have that, to get rid of what I knew he had the last juggler, and then it made sure my Wavering Eyes would resolve. But he's so good because it only takes Skullcrobat or Monkey Board with this, and then you have him, because he is a continuous effect that gives a 300-point boost to all Performer Pals, and Skullcrobat's a dark. So he's always, it makes him 2100, so it literally always resolves every time. It's just drawing deck Devi, and that's why I decided to max out on it. I expect to see a lot of this at Atlanta. At least these. I don't know if everybody will jump on this, so I'm trying to figure out how to get around it, how to beat it, but probably the best cards of the weekend by far. I beat the water guy I played. I remember game 3. I opened it, blew him out. I can remember at least 3 or 4 specific games where I went first, played deck Devi, and then they just, I showed them, like, they knew, you both know what's going to happen. You're going to Skullcrobat Monkey Board back and Rependulum, and it literally is just the game's over. There's at least 3 games where I flipped and the game was over after. But yeah, that's what I played this weekend. Sucks I didn't win. Still got to get a championship for Colorado. Go Broncos.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you.